We're here with our out of the theater reaction for Supergirl. We just saw it.
Shut the fuck up, Chris! You will pay for this!
I don't know why she was so mad. That's crazy. But yes, let's talk Supergirl. I'm going to get in a right costume here. This is our spoiler review. We're going to go into detail about what works and what doesn't work about the movie. And I'll just say, as I take this off to reveal my Film Threat super inspired shirt, available at shop.filmthreat.com. We'll get into spoilers.
Yeah.
I saw the movie.
Hold on. For this to work, we need to at least have 3 of you have seen the movie. So hopefully there's enough.
3 of you seen the movie? Okay, good. You have. Good luck to you all. Let's get into the spoilers, and the spoilers will explain in detail why so much of this movie does not work. The best I can say about this movie is it produced something that rivals the Dune popcorn bucket with the Supergirl flesh trench coat drinking cup. Yay. This is an actual thing that exists that you can get, and they may be on discount if people are not buying them.
And did they pre-lube it, or did you?
No, but I did get a second one with Lobo, and it's in its original plastic, which I may keep it in there for. I don't know how much these are going for on eBay. But let's get into Supergirl. First, something very interesting someone sent me. Jim from Portland, Portland 182, sent me an email. He's quoting a comment from one of the reviews that I think explains what we've been trying to put our finger on about why this doesn't work. It's this: the modern girl boss characters are actually classic villains. They gained power not through struggle or growth, but rather birth or luck. And they are not nice or helpful. They don't sacrifice themselves for others or a greater good. Instead, they are arrogant, nasty, self-centered, and selfish. Those are the characteristics of villains in movies. Thank you, Jim, for sending me that. That explains a lot, because that is why I think girl bosses are not popular. And Supergirl, Kara, embodies those values in the film. And that is why, this is why you can't sit there, give the film a bad review on every level, say how the script sucks, and then praise Millie Alcock. Okay? I'm sorry. She is, you pointed, we both said it. She was miscast. She is completely miscast in this role. What do you think about that comment?
About being a villain?
About girl bosses are effectively have the values, they embody values of villains. They're not heroes to be admired.
I mean, it's an interesting thought. And what's weird about it is those values, those quote unquote villainous values in a girl boss, it's weird to say it, but they're not seen as villainous values. In fact, they're seen as authentic values of the struggle of women, which is why I think that's why we get that term. So I know I'm still kind of wrestling with it, but it's the two sides of the same coin thing. If it was a man, they'd be the villain. If it's a woman doing the same thing, she's a superhero. She's a girl boss. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really, that kind of taps into like why these things don't work and why the general public kind of rejects these types of characters, and why
we like a good villain. We like a good villain, and if this embodies the values of a good villain, there should be something likable about it. Or maybe we just don't want to see that as the protagonist of a movie.
Yeah, well, we don't. But let's get into it. First, I want to talk about some of the dumb things in the movie. I mean, some of them. The child brides thing. Are they trying to make, and this is there have been multiple movies with female heroes about children being captured by men for the purposes. Are they trying
That's
to say
Furiosa,
something?
right?
That's Furiosa. That's that's that was also Scarlet
Oh yeah, Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. That was that movie. It's like this is a recurring thing with female heroes. They gotta fight the men that are turning children into slaves. It didn't make much sense at all. And when they're rescued, there are about 20 of them. The okay, and then let's talk about so now there's a green sun. I'm sorry, I'm sure it's accurate to the comics. Didn't realize that the whole green sun, I'm depowered, but then yellow sun, I have powers. Why would you abandon her somewhere knowing the yellow sun is going to rise in several hours? This horrible thing where they would go to a snap zoom of inside her molecules, showing green molecules.
Her DNA,
over the
her red blood
molecules,
cells turning green.
because the green molecules are bad and poison. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or let's also put it this way. There are only two people in the universe that this affects, Superman and Supergirl. And the fact that this is a big plot point for a villain to say, my plan will succeed if only I could find a green sun somewhere.
And why would Krem or Cream or whatever have these Krypton darts, knowing that it only affects people from Krypton and that the planet doesn't exist anymore? It makes no sense. There's so many things that are convenient or make no sense. Other things I found infuriating: the entire Argo segment, where Krypton is destroyed, baby Kal-El goes off in a ship sent by Jor-El to be a conqueror on Earth, and then Argo is encased in a dome thing, but it includes kryptonite from the deep, which from deep underneath part of the core that was preserved in the cube, that then infects the inhabitants. Why can't he make more than one capsule? There's a capsule he sends Kara and her dog. Why save the dog? How about two people? Couldn't she have gone and have more than one person? Is she expected now to mate with her cousin to preserve the Krypton bloodlines? Like there are things that make no sense. Her father, what's his name?
Who cares? Yes.
Yeah, yeah, her father name's Who Cares L, played by
David Crumwell.
David Crumwell, who I really like that actor a lot. Saw him in a comedy. He was just great.
Numbers.
Yeah, he's really Oppenheimer. A lot of things. Anyways, very good actor. The whole Argo segment, you're just left with questions. Too many plot points like the Argo thing make no sense. And then Ruthie, I'm on a mission. I'm going to kill, her whole family is killed in a dumb sequence where in the beginning of the movie where her brother is wearing AirPods, listening to music, and then is unaware that Cream is talking to her parents and goes to scare his sister, but upon doing so interrupts Cream, who kills the brother, ends in a slaughter. Ruthie gets away. So her brother was listening to music and then sees his sister out of his corner of his eye. He's going to scare her and surprise her. But he can't hear what's going on because he has space AirPods. Utterly ridiculous. Other things that make no sense. So now she's on a mission with her family crest, family ceremonial sword, is going to go and kill him. And for some reason, Kara's like, you don't know what it'll do to you, killing someone. You don't want to kill someone. It's not worth it. Sort of. And she had opportunities to take him out and allowed him to live, and goes on to kill when there's the betrayal with the
Yeah,
family, they're
let me address that for a second, because
there's so many things about this movie bother me.
Okay, so this idea that she stops Ruthie from killing because she doesn't understand the ramifications of doing that. So how does Supergirl know that? Who did Supergirl kill to have experienced that?
Right.
To have some kind of insight
Right.
as to why revenge is so awful. What experience did she have in her entire life where revenge was something that molded and shaped who she was, to where she can give that kind of advice to Ruthie? None. Doesn't happen in the entire movie, which again, I will always point 100% this movie sucks because of the screenplay. It is the worst screenplay. And this idea that James Gunn he has to approve every script before it gets greenlit. What the hell? Reading this script, you thought it was perfect and ready to go. That says a lot about your leadership now and the future of the DC universe.
And I'll say this: I don't blame the screenwriter Anna Noguera. I don't blame her. She took a job. She's an actress. She'd written one short film in 2018 that got produced. I have more experience writing scripts than she does, apparently. But I don't think I would have taken the gig of Supergirl.
But here's the thing. Look, it's fine if you want to do something really nice and help an up and coming writer create a movie. But what was clear in this is that she didn't feel like she was in over her head. She certainly didn't ask for any help. And that's what you do. There comes a point. If I was asked to write a Supergirl movie, the first thing I would do is I would do a hell of a lot of research and I would talk to a lot of people, because I have no clue how to write a Supergirl movie. And quite frankly, if I was writing a Supergirl movie, I would have written this script, because I'm not a good screenwriter.
Next, we'll talk about the very ending in the movie, but I want to wrap this up a second. I don't blame the screenwriter. She took a job and she was trying to move up in her career. Good for her. Okay. I don't blame Craig Gillespie. Okay. He has made some decent movies. Okay. He should be able to handle this. I don't blame Millie Alcock, who was okay. She got cast. Sounds fun. I'll do one.
She had some juice from House of the Dragon. That's probably why she was cast.
And it'll lead to other things she probably will be more suited for. The blame for this thing failing falls on one person, and that is James Gunn. He chose Anna Noguera to write the script. He hired, along with Peter Safran, Craig Gillespie to direct. I assume he was involved in the casting. He has been, up until recently, involved in a lot of the press for this film, in behind the scenes. He's done, I haven't seen him doing any interviews. It's all been the director and Alcock have been doing these interviews. So the blame for this is James Gunn. Mm-hmm. It really is. I think we were all very optimistic and excited, but you can only put the blame there at this point. After Peacemaker season 2, after what we're getting a glimpse of with Lanterns, and after Supergirl and Superman, look, there are arguments for why you could love that movie. I see them. I've seen positive reviews, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a fun aspect. This was, and David Cornsweet, the only two highlights for me in Supergirl were Lobo and Superman. That's it. When they were on screen, it's like, oh, that's fun. They didn't really do much with Superman. He didn't get to kick ass or do anything. So it's kind of like the Superman movie. But
here's the problem. He has such a rich history of good to great storytelling.
Yeah.
Prior to joining DC. And the idea that he read this script and thought it was a great Supergirl story, and even compared it to the comic book series, which I've never read, but I hear mixed things about it. But fundamentally, I think some people liked it or thought it was strong enough. But again, to have greenlit this script is beyond me. How A, did he not see it coming, and B, being in charge, being able to spend hundreds of millions of dollars did not stop and ask for a major rewrite. And let's go a step further. She's tapped to write Wonder Woman. It's going to say a lot about James Gunn's leadership if he does not change the writer and go to a new writer for Wonder Woman. If he sticks with Anna Nagaro, DC is doomed.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the ending. So we're in spoiler territory here. In the ending, Kara prevents Ruthie from killing Crumb, whatever. I don't care. He's so forgettable. She prevents her from doing that. And then out of her, she's gone away, and then Supergirl picks up that sword and murders him, stabs him twice, and kills him. So she prevents her from doing it. But what is she saying by doing that? I'm going to take the kill for myself? It's a horrible ending. It's horrible. And like, it's one of the things we've seen through the history of heroes, even in Chris Nolan's Dark Knight films. I don't kill. It's my one rule. You're going to have to break that rule, right? In the ending of the comic, which is completely different, Kara sends Krem to the Phantom Zone. Mm-hmm. He goes to the Phantoms, sends him to the Phantom Zone, and then years later returns to Ruthie. Ruthie's young in the story, and then returns to Ruthie as an older woman now, late in life. Even Supergirl is older, and she releases Krem from this Phantom Zone, and Krem is apologetic and he's filled with remorse at what he did, and it's a different ending. It's a more poetic, smarter ending, if you ask me. I've heard mixed about that series, and I'm paraphrasing what I read about how the comic ends. That's a much more poetic ending. That's sent to the Phantom Zone, and then he begs for forgiveness. It's a turn in his character. This unmemorable, unremarkable villain, I'll just stab him in the chest. So could not be worse. Could not be worse lessons. Okay.
Let me tell you the worst ending. Okay.
There's a worse one?
The worst one, the one I thought you were going to mention, but I'll mention this worst ending. But I'm going to give you my interpretation of the hero's journey. You have a hero and you have a villain. The villain is doing dastardly things. The hero has to defeat the villain. But the problem is the hero has a weakness. And the villain knows that. And so the villain uses the hero's weakness against him or her. And so the whole film, the whole story is about the hero overcoming his or her weakness to defeat the villain. Okay, so here, what is the event that turns Kara around, that turns her from the drunken party girl into Supergirl, the hero? Well, she's on the planet. The sun is green. And so she can't do anything. She's laying there. She's going to die because of the green sun. And Ruthie has to go off and become the hero and save her. But lo and behold, the green sun, it turns yellow.
Yeah.
And Kara becomes Supergirl and dons the super suit for the first time. Because why? Because the green sun turned yellow, and now she can save the day.
Well, and then the very ending, she comes back to Earth, sees Clark, and is like, "Okay, I'm good now. I'll stay on Earth."
Really,
it's a convenient thing to set up Man of Tomorrow. I just felt nobody clapped at the screening we were at. Well, the screening we were at, nobody clapped. The public screening I went to, there was like, I'd say a third of the audience clapped at the end, a paying audience.
See,
which is a fair.
That's the other thing is why did she return to Earth? I mean, I get it. It helps in the sense of, yeah, we're making the super universe complete, but what in the story made it so compelling that she had to return to Clark and Earth? Why couldn't she
Yes.
just fly around to other yellow sun planets?
In the end, what I'll say about Supergirl is nothing was earned.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was earned, and it's a colossal disappointment. And I think this is the beginning of the end of James. I think after Man of Tomorrow comes out, that will be the last thing. No, look, pay attention. Nothing new. There will be no new project announced. There'll be maybe some things in development. I don't think they're going to get made.
So the DCU has become Star Wars.
Yeah, the DCU is the new Star Wars.
Yeah. Look, my biggest problem with the movie is not only is it the script and this very, very, very basic story, because nothing in this story, the plot elements of this story we have seen before. We have the really bad guy who kills everybody, saving the girls who are being trafficked, being the drunk girl who's dealing with the PTSD of losing your planet. But ultimately, the reason you make a Supergirl movie is because this is about Supergirl. This is about a unique character in the entire universe that is known as Supergirl. And what did we learn? What makes Supergirl different from every other hero? We learn nothing about that.
Yeah.
Other superheroes have lost their planets, lost their families, lost their loved ones. Other superheroes have had revenge journeys. Other superheroes have sidekicks who are too young and don't know what they're doing. But what this movie was missing was something that was uniquely Supergirl, that only a struggle that only Supergirl could have. And none of that is found in this movie, which makes this movie boring and makes this movie generic.
And I'll end on, see ya, bitch.
Gee.